So, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to address a question or video idea rather that was proposed by one of my patrons on Patreon, and that is kind of discussing ways that we can connect to Santa Muerte away from the altar. Now, and just going off that initial idea, a lot of people I think are mistaken when they think that the only time you can really have a communion with La Santa Muerte is when you're sitting at the altar. And I think that the altar is a sacred space. I think the altar is, a designated space for that. And I think there is power in working at an altar. But La Santa Muerte is not confined to an altar. She is ever present. She can be accessed anywhere, anytime by any devotee. And I think that you really can, when you start reaching out to her in places away from the altar, you will, it's like you connect with her in a different way. Sometimes you can be sitting alone outside, in nature, or sitting by the shore at a beach. And in those moments of tranquility, you really just think on La Santa Muerte and you kind of reach out to her in your mind and you just kind of feel gratitude towards her. Or you can be out and about and you will see something and you might feel moved to say a prayer or to wish well on someone. And, you might say a prayer to Santa Muerte, you know, so that a certain situation can go smoothly or so that someone can have just an easier time if they're having a hard time of things. You can meditate on La Santa Muerte anywhere. You can, with or without meditation music, just anywhere where you can find a time to be alone or at least undisturbed, and just meditate on Santa Muerte. A lot of times I'm at work right now, I still work a 9 to 5, and it takes up most of my time. And honestly, it takes up most of my energy too. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even, if I wasn't working a 9 to 5, I'd probably post many, many, many videos every week. But if you go through my videos, you'll see that there isn't, sometimes I might go 7 or 8 days without an upload. And the fact of the matter is, I want to upload every single day, but I'm so exhausted from my job. And it really is very mentally and emotionally draining because I work in retail and, it's just, I feel like that speaks for itself. But there are times when I'm at work working and my mind feels very chaotic and I just feel really overwhelmed in the moment. And I find kind of thinking about La Santa Muerte and just wondering about her, thinking about who she is or what she is and the things that she's done for me and, things I would maybe like to do for her in the future. You know, um, I think just spending time kind of pondering over her and kind of taking the time to really think about her, because when you think about her, it's kind of like you're kind of sending energy towards her in a weird way, in an indirect way, but you are. And I think that just keeping her in your thoughts, I guess, is another way of connecting with her, especially away from the altar. And also, just of course, prayers to her. There are daily prayers to her, there are prayers for gratitude, prayers for all kinds of things. And these are things you can do away from the altar, of course. You can say these prayers on your way to work. You can say these prayers, you know, while you're cooking a meal. You can say these prayers anytime. You don't have to be at the altar. I think another way of connecting with La Santa Muerte is um, just, oh, I lost my train of thought. I guess I would say not through acts of kindness, although I guess you could, but that kind of falls into more of the realm of offerings. But for me personally, one way I like to connect to La Santa Muerte is by creating artwork. I like to draw a lot, I like to create art. Lately on my channel, I've been using a lot of like AI generated artwork because it just looks more polished and refined. But I do like to doodle a lot, I like to draw, I like to paint. Nothing super professional. It's just something I've always done since I was a kid. And usually when I'm drawing images of her, I'm just very present in the moment and I'm not really distracted by anything. I'm just drawing and she's very much in the forefront of my mind. And I feel like that's another good way of connecting with her and connecting with her energy away from the altar. So I think that also doing research on La Santa Muerte is another way of connecting with her a little bit. Really, any activity that has to do with Santa Muerte that is being done away from the altar is a way of connecting with her on some level. And like I've used a few examples just now, and so you can see it really is any number of things, big and small, you can do regarding La Santa Muerte to connect with her away from the altar. Some places, some cities, usually more larger cities, they have small churches or temples to La Santa Muerte. Some of them allow you to bring offerings to those churches, so you could get roses, a bouquet of flowers or something like that. Take them to these places and leave offerings to the Santa Muerte statues in those locations. There really is a lot of different things you can do. For example, for me, I share information on my channel, and although I feel like I like making videos, I think it's fun, I like video editing and just a lot of little things. I don't find it tedious, I find it all quite enjoyable, but I think that I find it another way of connecting with her because I feel like I'm not necessarily doing her a service, but I do feel like the effort I put into creating my videos is something that I take pride in because it allows me to connect with her in a way. And I think that another way of connecting with her is doing things that honor your life. And I think that it's something that's a little bit different. And so, for instance, I want to learn to play a music instrument. I want to learn how to play the harp. And it's something I've always wanted to do, but it always felt like a pipe dream because I'm not somebody who's wealthy. I've never been rich or even well off. And this is the first time in my life where I'm starting to become something close to being stable financially. I just, and although I don't want for many things, I'm not hurting for anything, I live fairly comfortably in my life. I don't have, a couple $1,000s to just drop on a music instrument. However, I know eventually I will own it. And what I'm getting at is La Santa Muerte, with a lot of her devotees, they, she kind of allows them to thrive a little bit. She allows them to live. And sometimes she will save their life. And I know she saved my life a lot. There have been many instances where I came close to no longer being here. And, I feel like every day I'm alive is kind of like a thing of gratitude. And she wants us to live our lives to the fullest. She wants us to make the most of our time here on earth. She wants us to have fun. She wants us to indulge in the things that bring us true joy, true happiness, things that just light us up inside. And for me, I strongly feel like, although I feel like that way about creating artwork and things, also I feel like that about music. And I think that pursuing your passions and kind of pursuing them to the fullest as a way to honor her is another way of being present with things that you enjoy while simultaneously kind of honoring her, I guess you could say. So I guess there are a lot of different ways you can connect to La Santa Muerte away from the altar. And also some of us, we sometimes live very distraction-filled lives. So another thing we can do is we can wear Santa Muerte jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, things like that. And sometimes simply seeing those things can help us to, it reminds us about her in that moment when we're distracted. And we can take a moment to kind of presence ourselves in that moment and kind of just send a thought to her, a thought of thanks or of gratitude, And I think that that's another way to kind of connect with her whenever you're away from the altar. Some people will get tattoos of La Santa Muerte. Other people will wear rosaries or necklaces or bracelets or even evil eye bracelets that feature La Santa Muerte's images. I don't have any of my jewelry on right now because I'm just at home. Um, but but yeah, I think that there are myriad ways that you can honor La Santa Muerte when you're not at the altar. And I think that there's just really the sky's the limit. People are very creative. And right now, I'm just giving a lot of examples, but I guess I feel like you get the idea. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But thank you so much for watching. If you found this enjoyable, I have a huge Santa Muerte playlist on my channel, and I have many more videos to come. So drop a like if you liked, and subscribe for much more content just like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. Take care.